I think the guarantee of this year is that no one really in this current Bulldog side is going to be an immortal because they cannot beat an egg. Now, you blokes are both Bulldogs legends, I'll say.
Yeah, I'll say legends.
You'd say legends.
Immortals.
Immortals. You can be an immortal. We've just set up our own guidelines. So you
just
want to
created it.
you're an immortal.
Hall of Famer at least.
So essentially, you know, obviously the place is a lot different from when you guys were there because you're old now.
Yeah.
It was a long time since you've
No,
been
it was
there,
a long time for me, but not this kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, I want to ask Ren myself because obviously, you know, I was there from 98 to 2007. That's a lot of success for her. I still love the club. And a lot of, you know, a lot of support, a lot of people, you know, direct messaging me on Instagram, tweeting, all this kind of stuff about what's happened with the club, what's happened with the club. I don't know personally what's happened with the club. But, you know, because I left so many years ago, but you were there in 2014 under the Des Hasler regime. So from 2004 onwards, you know, you left in after 2008, 2009, then you went back 2014. What the fuck has happened?
Without, you know, the playing group, the work ethic was still the same. The ethic was still there. But from someone who'd played 100 first grade games plus 50 flag and reserve grade games there, I came back there and I felt like a complete outsider. And that was not because of not being accepted by the players or anything like that. The place had changed. It was just not the Bulldog culture that was bred into me. You know, when I came to the club as a South junior, it wasn't long before I bought into the Bulldogs environment, bought into the culture. I knew everything about every ex-player. I knew what every player did through the 80s and the legacy they built through the 90s and then into the early 2000s. And I was lucky enough to come into a system in the 04 and win the grand final in 04, but Canterbury had been building towards that. When I went back in 2014, it was like I'd never ever played there. It was different, and that was just the way that I guess Des and the place wanted to be run. I don't think they wanted to have any sort of history with the club. Des Hasler is a manly person with a Bulldog shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, that's his vehicle to be successful as a coach, to be at Canterbury, but he will always be manly. If you take him into a room and you held him at gunpoint and said, who do you go for? He's going to say, I'm a manly person.
What about Northern Eagles? No?
No, just manly.
Okay. And I'll give you my little Des Hasler little taste. I mean, I was just after my Manly stint, there was talk that I was going to go to the Bulldogs, and I had a meeting with Des Hasler. And I was keen, you know, it sounded really good on paper. Oh, you go back, play your 300th game for the club, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, yeah, it sounded really good, but like, okay, let's just talk a bit of footy. And Des comes, you know, I meet him in Darling Harbour or some crap like that. We have a coffee and we just start talking about football, just in life in general. And he just, bang, put out this big book, about that thick. It's stats on everything. Like from fucking day dot. I mean, like, in his eyes, I don't know if they're twisted or not, or his head or football's just got to him. Aidan Tolman was the best prop in the game. And to me, no disrespect to Aidan Tolman, I was 35, I still dust him up. You know what I mean? Like, I just...
And hello to Aidan Tolman, if you're watching.
Yeah, what's up, Aidan? How you going? Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, no, Sam Burgess, you know, George Burgess at that time.
Yeah.
They were killing it. But I said, do you ever go by the eye test, Des, and just go, look at what he brings, what sort of emotional sort of presence, a physical presence, and what sort of drive that the guy has on the field, and how much he can get people going with him. You know, the leadership skills, instead of, you know, finding your front on the play of the ball, you know, tackling 45 times. There's a reason why you tackle 45 times if you're a front rower, because you're a spot player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You don't get run at. I don't get run at 50 times a game, because I would hope to think that I could actually tackle all right. But at that stage, it really, really put me off rugby league and pretty much forced me to France.
That was pretty much the end of... I remember when that happened. And
I told you,
back from the meeting,
it done my head in.
Yeah, it did.
I was like, I think I don't know how to play football anymore.
Yeah. Look, the way Canterbury are playing...
France seems so good right now. Can I go to the south of France and retire, please? Thank you.
It's just the way it
does.
does.
And the best thing he said was, go to France and enjoy the last year. That's the thing. And I have so much respect for Des, but that was the best thing he said the whole meeting.
Well, look, I mean...
And you met for 2 hours.
It basically leads into...
We talked for a whole day and we had 20 beers.
Look, he's a super intelligent human, and I think he's...
Too smart.
Too smart for rugby league. I just think you need to peel it back a little bit. You need to have your team fit, and then you need to have them... You don't need to give them so much information. They're rugby league players. When you overload them with the information, it's just typical of the way they're playing now. They don't go out there to intentionally lose. but they're so confused. That's the way I watched them last night, and they didn't know what to do. You know, Sam Cassiano's getting the ball on the 4th tackle, or the 5th tackle. Where's the half? Or there's just so much information driven into the players. I feel sorry for them. They've had a terrible year, and I don't know if it's worth keeping Des on long term for that club. I think things are going to just get worse. It's not like he inherited that team. He's picked every single one of those players in that team. And if they're not getting results, then you've got to be accountable for it.
I think analytics is massive in basketball, NFL, and that's where he's at in his head. You know, he's doing meters after the tackle, all these little things that coaches don't really give a shit about. And as Ren touched on, the game hasn't evolved that much. You run hard, you tackle hard, you have more fight. All these little things will win you a game. Completions, all that kind of stuff. You can go into that kind of, that sort of statistics, but not the stuff that he was ripping out to me. I've never heard of these stats.
You can't even say statistics.
I can't even say statistics. And I didn't know what he was talking about at the start. So it was, it really threw me off. I was like, man, what are you doing to these guys? How do you say that to a front rower?
Because I remember at the time you were actually quite excited about going back to the Bulldogs.
It felt like a feel-good story.
And I know, Ren, you were the same when you were going back. It just felt like a really nice way to finish your career, to give back to the club.
Yeah, I don't regret going back there. No. It's just things were different,
And you got to mentor some young kids.
And that's another thing what Ren told me. He goes, it's totally different. Because I told Ren, I said, I'm going to meet Des. And he goes, it's not the same. I said, and I knew it wasn't going to be the same. And that's what I don't like. Whatever I did at the Dogs is my legacy. That's it. I want it to stay there. I don't want to change. I don't want to go back.
And it would have.
It would have changed. We would have won the comp, something like that.
Oh, wow.